Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. After watching NXT last night, it really got me fired up. I thought a lot about NXT, and the upcoming NXT show in Dallas. Which, if you go on StubHub, which some people, are having to do because of the fact that they didn't do a big arena for NXT like they did for SummerSlam weekend, and maybe WWE is sort of regretting it. I know that they had the arena that was a part of the same place where Access is going to be in the convention center, and it makes it a whole, it makes it really, really convenient for them that they don't have to sort of, tear everything down from NXT and then, put everything up for Hall of Fame the next night. You can sort of get it ready, and then the second Hall of Fame is done, you can sort of tear down from there. Then you can get ready for Monday Night Raw. It's the one big plus of having that arena booked for the whole entire weekend. But I don't know if maybe it's because I think the Mavs only play on Wednesday, but maybe because they have the Stars there and they have the hockey rink and things like that. I'm not 100% sure what goes all into it, but definitely they would have sold a lot of more NXT tickets if there would have been more NXT tickets for them to offer. Definitely NXT is riding real high right now. Of course, with everybody knowing about the upcoming Shinsuke Nakamura debut, where he's going to be wrestling against Sami Zayn. It has not been announced on television, but it has been tweeted out by Twitter, and then also they've been putting it over with Shinsuke Nakamura the same day as Fastlane. That day in the morning, they were in Japan, and they had the official announcement that Shinsuke Nakamura had signed a contract with WWE, and they were sort of giving him the goodbye on his way out the door, even though he wrestled for New Japan after turning his notice in to leave. But I'm honestly really surprised that the deal that Nakamura signed is to wrestle for NXT. He is going to be making basically WWE main event money while wrestling for NXT. I do know that, when it comes down to it, I am surprised that it is an NXT contract instead of a WWE contract. I know that, like a guy like Kevin Owens flew through NXT way faster than anyone expected. And maybe that's what Nakamura does here too. I honestly thought that he would come in, he would wrestle the sort of dream match against Sami Zayn. But I guess, as everybody knows, Sami Zayn will probably be being moved up to the main roster sooner than later. I don't know how long Finn Balor is going to be, staying down in NXT, but that's a guy, honestly, that could be debuting on the main roster any minute now, and definitely with the plans of Guns and Gallows coming in and debuting as well. I'd be really surprised if those guys are debuting in NXT. I think they would be sort of wasted not to bring those guys up, especially with all the rumors and everybody thinking about, how is Shane McMahon going to beat The Undertaker? Could he be using the power of the Bullet Club or the Balor Club, whatever you want to call it? But definitely you take Sami Zayn, and then you also take Finn Balor out. Maybe you do need like somebody like Nakamura. When Finn Balor signed, they signed him for a big deal money, but they're also making this seem like the Nakamura signing, they signed him for more money than Finn Balor is currently making at this time. But Nakamura is definitely, for hardcore wrestling fans that have been watching, New Japan Wrestling for the last 2 years, I think that, New Japan really came on the scene and a lot of people started talking about it. 2011, 2012 were really strong years, but I think that the Wrestle Kingdom 9, when Jeff Jarrett came into the fold, and people really started to take notice about, Jeff Jarrett, and him bringing Jim Ross and, of course, AJ Styles wrestling there. There was a lot of great matches there, and I think they made a lot of good fans, and there was a good number of returning people coming back to watch Wrestle Kingdom 10. It didn't really seem like it had the mainstream appeal to it, but I know from the people that I follow on Twitter, there was a lot more people staying up and watching that show live than I thought there was going to be, definitely with no American pay-per-view of the show being shown with American commentary like they did the year before with Matt Stryker and Jim Ross. But I think the people really, bought in, and that's probably one way to really bring subscribers to New Japan World. But hopefully Nakamura comes in and knocks him dead. I know that the talk of the town, especially when you watch that like Finn Balor documentary that came out before Beast in the East when he won the championship, Balor basically made it seem like he was ready to live and die in NXT, and he didn't want to go up to the main roster anytime soon. I don't know if that's a line that they're feeding him, but definitely, they've already gutted the women's division by taking Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch all up to the main roster. You don't definitely want to gut the men's division. If you took Sami Zayn as well as Finn Balor, you'd still have Samoa Joe. Austin Aries is just coming in and making his debut, which I think goes down next week on NXT. And then we've also got you've got Baron Corbin down there. You've got Samoa Joe. Nakamura coming in could definitely be that guy to headline the shows and sort of bring a little bit of mystery of when they go to all of these towns with all the upcoming house shows and things like that, and NXT going on tour. It could be a little bit of just wondering, how good is this guy? Is he really worth all of the buzz that's surrounding him? And he could be a guy that really sells tickets there. But out of anybody there, I will tell you that I really want to see Nakamura and what he's able to do for WWE. The guy that I think is going to knock it out of the park and be the main event guy that I believe is going to be the future of not only NXT but the WWE is Apollo Crews. That's the guy I want to be stepping up and seeing this guy have big matches. He's the guy that I thought was going to be wrestling for the championship at the NXT show in Dallas. Instead, we got Finn Balor going up against Samoa Joe in a rematch from the London show. This will be the second match. Definitely, in my opinion, whoever loses this match needs to get bumped up to the main roster, whether if that's at WrestleMania, whether if that's at the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. And one of those guys needs to get brought up. And then you definitely got a lot of guys to carry the load. And it won't be what it once was. But, definitely when guys are getting moved up, it's never going to be. So we'll see what's going down with NXT. But Nakamura signing that contract to be an NXT superstar sort of surprises me. But when you think about the moves that they're going to be making in the future with probably Sami Zayn as well as Finn Balor, it starts to make a lot of sense.